Data released by Halifax this morning has revealed that house prices rose by 0.5% in November.
It's the second month in a row that house prices have increased. A typical home now worth £1,300 more than last month.
Well, Halifax's final house price index of the year reveals that Huddersfield is the top performer in 2023, with an 8.7% increase in average house prices there, amounting to over £20,000.
All right, let's talk to property agent Jeremy Leaf, who's here in the studio. Morning,
Stephen.
I'm always torn with stories like this because as someone who owns a house, I sort of think, great, it's more money in the bank, in effect, whenever I sell and move on. But, of course, it's bad news for anyone trying to get on the property ladder.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, the market is made up of all these thousands of micro-markets, you know, where some areas are determined by schools or jobs or transport links. And it is, when you look at the figures, you think, well, how is it going to affect me? What's in it for me? How does it make a difference? And I think that's the point. It has been a bit up and down, and some areas have gone up a little bit, some down a bit. But you look at the overall trend, you know, we examine all the indices and try and sort of put a line through them and find out which direction the market's heading.
And there are different pictures across the country, aren't there? I mean, we're talking about Huddersfield there. I mean, huge growth there.
Yeah, a lot of it's down to affordability, where there's a predominance of lower price properties, so maybe people are more likely to go there, or they may have been paying rent for a long while and seen their rents going up, and they'd rather pay their mortgage than the landlord's mortgage, so they're going to try and buy there rather than somewhere a bit more expensive.
I'm a little bit surprised that prices have gone up as they have, because with the interest rate rises, certainly when you talk about landlords, there's been an awful lot of landlords selling because they, even with the rent, they cannot afford to pay the mortgage. So you would have thought there were more properties on the market.
Well, confidence has a massive impact on people buying and selling property, and the way that the prices have been pitched, saying, well, they're going to go down. A lot of people said at the beginning, 12 months ago, I was probably here reading when we were chatting about forecasts for 10 to 20% reductions, but that hasn't happened. And the sales have come to the mortgage market as well as into shops. And mortgages going down in price, inflation stabilising, that's added to the confidence, and it's meant that people have been prepared to dip that toe in the water.
Jeremy, you can tell we're coming into an election year because over the past few days we've seen all the goodies on the front pages of the newspapers of what the political parties might be offering. And a couple of days ago it was Michael Gove, the Levelling Up Secretary, talking about housing and saying that there's going to be an offer from the Tory party, we're not quite sure what it will be yet, for first-time buyers to try and draw them in to vote Tory, something like special mortgage rates. How important do you think that will be in the next general election? Do you think housing will be central to what people
I think it's a really good point, because I think it will, although I'm biased, of course, but property is so important, not just to us in the property business, but to the economy generally, because of the knock-on effect it has on so many trades. Mortgages, carpets, white goods, carpenters, electricians, plumbers, you name it, has so much of an effect, and therefore it is central. And I think people care, particularly at election time. They think about their jobs and their homes. That's what they're saying to us in our offices. That's what they're saying, and that's the government have picked it up, as have the Labour Party.
OK, Jeremy, as always, it's good to see you. We'll see you next year. No doubt.
Hopefully.
Thank you very much indeed.